Hi crypto fans, welcome to CCS Cryptocurrency State. My name is Santiago, I'm a web developer and investor, and in today's video I'm going to do a deep review of Mina protocol and why, even if we could say that this is more decentralized than another blockchains, it's not too scalable and secure right now. And I will be reviewing the technology of the project, which is the most interesting part, but also I will do a team review behind the project, not only the COO, the rest of the team too. I will show you the GitHub repository in a way that you can understand and follow the progress of the dev team. And besides that, we are going to review the token economics, the news about the project, the community, and much more. This will be the best summary that you will see in YouTube. Before we begin, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell to get the notifications, and remember to join to the giveaway. And that's it. Let's go into the video. Hey guys, well, let's start with the basic. Right now I am at minaprotocol.com. This protocol has been called the world's lightest blockchain and is powered by participants. By design, the entire Mina blockchain is about 22 kilobytes. We are going to see why that is not exactly true, but yeah, the size of a couple of tweets, so participants can quickly sync and verify the network, and that is true. For example, the Mina blockchain fixed size is only 22 kilobytes, and they put here fixed size because that will be the same even if the blockchain continues scaling. So always it will be 22 kilobytes, which is just like the logo image of my YouTube channel, so it's very small. And comparing it with another blockchain that could have 300 gigabytes or more. For example, if we check the Bitcoin blockchain right now, it's around 350 gigabytes. And for example, the Ethereum chain full sync is about 824 gigabytes. This could sound not too important because actually the storage is going each time cheaper and the velocity of internet is increasing over time, because we have new technologies and stuff. Actually makes an impact because in the way that Bitcoin is not actually completely decentralized, in the way that even if the blockchain continue growing, you have these smaller nodes that are going to be out of the market. So over time, for example, in 10 years, probably there will be less companies or less block producers that we have right now because the blockchain will continue growing. But I don't know, it's like a real line between Bitcoin could be someday not too decentralized, but at the same time the storage network and the network velocity is growing each year. So anyways, what Mina achieved here is very cool, and I will explain what is that. A great thing here of the 22 kilobytes is that, according to what they say, it is really truly decentralized with every user acting as a full node. So basically you can be a verifier of the network only with your cell phone because it's only 22 kilobytes, and that is not possible with any other blockchain that I know. So that is very cool. So how Mina works, basically they use these ZK snarks. This means that they capture the state of the entire blockchain as a lightweight snapshot and send that around instead of the chain itself. It's like sending your friend a postcard of an elephant instead of a massive live animal. A very cool picture to imagine this is like Mina protocol itself in their YouTube channel explain. Imagine that you need to find Waldo in a book. So if you want to prove that you already find Waldo, you only can take a picture of Waldo itself on the book. You don't need to send to someone to prove that you find it, the complete picture pointing Waldo. So instead of that, you only send Waldo, a picture of Waldo, so that will prove that you find it, instead of sending the full image. So in order to understand this better, let's go see this video.
Snarks have these properties. They don't leak information, they are tiny and easy to verify, even if the notion being proven is complicated. They don't require back and forth communication, and they are proofs of knowledge. The prover must actually know the thing being claimed, not just that it is true. In Mina, we don't play a game of Where's Waldo. We prove that the entire blockchain is valid. Why does a blockchain need to be valid? Because blockchains are run by many independent people instead of a central entity like a bank. So it's necessary for many people to verify that a blockchain is valid before trusting it. In other chains, folks verify the blockchain is valid by replaying every block one by one by one. In Mina, however, we do this by proving just that there exists a sequence of blocks that form a blockchain. However, rather than revalidating the full sequence of blocks every time a new block is created, Mina just tweaks the proof statement slightly. Instead, we prove that there was a valid proof for some sequence of blocks, and there's a new extra one that's also valid. In a sense, every time a new block is created and broadcast throughout the network, we extend the proof to support this extra block. This self-referential concept of proofs referring to themselves is fascinating. Think of it like a picture within a picture within a picture, and so on. Certain ZK snarks, like pickles that's used in Mina, support a concept known as recursion, that a proof can refer to itself. And doing this does increase the size of the proofs, no matter how many times we refer to ourselves. This recursion concept, this picture in a picture, is what allows Mina to stay small.
So with that video is clear at least the big picture of how it works, but what are actually the entities inside and how the protocol works? There are three basic entities here: the verifiers, the block producers, and the snarkers. The verifiers, we expect the vast majority of the network participants to be capable of verifying, because Mina uses recursive Zk snarks to continuously probe state validate. Full node security is achieved by simply download a Zk snark, which is around a few hundred bytes, and takes a few milliseconds of compute to verify. So this will be something that you can do actually with your cell phone. The other two roles in Mina is secure by proof of stake consensus, so use proof of stake like many other blockchains. But unlike other legacy protocols, any participant can validate transactions like a full node, making decentralization possible. And here, node operators can play two roles. They can be produce blocks or they can produce snarks. So block producers, they are similar to miners or stakers in another protocols. Block producers can be selected to produce a block and earn block rewards, transaction fees, and network fees. Block producers can also be snarks. And the snark producers help to compress the data into the network by generating snark proof of the transactions. This snark proof is like the concept of the picture that we discussed before. So they then shell those snark proof to block producers on the snark place in return of a portion of the block rewards that the block producers have, right? I think it's a little clear at least. Well, here in the white paper, I will put this in the comments. It's like the life cycle of a Mina transaction. It's a little hard to explain, so I will just put the link there. But basically, this is the flow from where a transaction starts, how that is managed to go into the block producers, how the snarks are needed to validate and share the snarks to the block producer also, to the final stage that the new block is godspeed and validated. So I will put this link in the description if you are interested in this. So one question that we have right now with Mina protocol is really don't have any history of all the transactions on the blockchain because of what we just discussed before. While that is not actually 100% true, there is this concept of archive node. I didn't saw any YouTuber when reviewing Mina talking about this, but this is important. Archive nodes. Mina nodes are sustained by default, meaning that they don't need to maintain historical information about the network, block, or transactions. But for some use cases, it's useful to maintain this historical data, which you can do by running an archive node. So I needed to go deeply into this documentation. This was in advance because I couldn't believe that there was not actually a way to have the complete blockchain. I didn't believe that. So an archive node is just a regular minor daemon that is connected to a running archive process. That daemon will regularly send blockchain data to the archive process, where we'll store it in a Postgres database. So this is a type of database. So actually, there will be nodes that are going to maintain the complete history of the blockchain. You can see there how to install everything to do that. The archive node will store its data in a PostgreSQL database that no operator hosts on a provider of their choice. They also are going to be, however, for redundancy, the archive node's data can also be stored to an object storage. For example, Google Cloud Storage or S3, which are Amazon Web Services or others. This is a little concern to me because these are centralized operators. So if all the archive nodes are going to store everything in this type of services, that means that the history of the complete data, it will be in centralized companies, right? So archive data is critical for applications that require historical lookup. So, like we say, I mean, the blockchain, it will not have the historical data in a day-to-day transaction or generating blocks. That is why the blockchain is still valid and is a great project. But you will need this in case of a very big hack, for example, or any way that the blockchain could be compromised. You will need to go to these archive nodes to recover everything. So on the protocol side, archive data is currently important for disaster recovery to reconstruct a certain state, but may not require in a future version of Mina. So that is the good part of this. We need to see how that will be solved and why they say that in the future could be not needed. So I didn't find any information on how they plan to do this, but that will be an important part. So I want to show you here this. An ideal blockchain needs to be decentralized, scalable, and secure. And what happens with Mina protocol? Well, yes, I am agree that they could hit 100% in protocol works correctly over time for the decentralized part. The scalable part, not so sure right now. They need to prove it yet. Right now, they can run only 22 transactions per second. Bitcoin is around 4.6 transactions per second, Ethereum around 30. So it's really slow right now. And you can see in this podcast of the Crypt Daily Podcast that even Shapiro, the CEO, confirms that this 20 transaction is not something that I make up. So it's funny, I will put this link in the description, but he was a little resistant to tell that information, but he was a little pushed by the interviewer. So there we got that right now that is the amount. And in terms of security, also still need to be proved, but the decentralization make it secure, that is true. Recent audits confirms that the security, like other proof-of-stakes blockchains, is actually very secure. But because what I mentioned about the archive nodes, we need to see how they plan to solve that. So basically, they need to still solve scalability issues and secure issues, from my perspective. But anyways, the project, I really like the technology, and let's go into another reviews. So for the roadmap, they already started work 3 years ago, from 2017. So it's not a new project, and I really like that they took their time, like Cardano did, because now I am seeing the fruits of Cardano, even if in 2018 we wanted to go quickly. So I think they worked 3 years already. That is very cool. So they already launched the mainnet launch in mid-March. So right now we have stages to accomplish. So create composable snap logic, allowing verification to be provided automatically via other snaps. And we need full nodes run on mobile and web for 2022, and implement on-chain protocol for treasury and budget. That will be part of the roadmap. Well, there was very good news when they launched it. They hit $600 million on market cap when they launched, and there are a lot of buzz around Mina right now. They actually have a partnership with Ethereum, which make it great, and they are also backed by Coinbase Ventures, so we could expect a listing of the token, of Mina token, on Coinbase relatively soon. The Mina token is already launched, is in position 224. Right now it's at $2.81. At the launch it was around $9, and right now we are near bottom prices. So it's not a bad moment to enter if you are interested in this. But let's check the token economics. Before we continue with the video, remember that I am doing an amazing giveaway. I will be giving half of a Bitcoin to one winner and 5 Ethereum to 5 different winners. If you want to participate, it's super easy, just a couple of clicks. Follow the link in the description. But remember that you need to be subscribed to the channel with the bell on to be considered. So the initial supply of Mina is 1 billion tokens. This was part of what the team will distribute, and we're going to check that. But one thing that I don't like too much is that it's an inflationary token. So basically you can see how the supply schedule is for Mina protocol. Basically over the years after the launch, the inflationary will lower. So first at the beginning it will be 12%, and then over the course of 5 years the inflation rate will fall to 7% and remain at 7% from there. This is a chart for the initial distribution categories of Mina. So we already said that there is 1 billion Mina tokens in distribution in the initial distribution. A 6% is for the Mina Foundation. A 7.5% is for O1 Labs, which are the creators of Mina. It's the company behind Mina Foundation. So basically they are the same. 20.5% to backers, contributors, 23.6% for the core contributors, and 42.3% for the community. And the expected circulation supply for after 4 years, we are expecting to have 1.3 billion Mina tokens. So from that perspective, in 4 years, this is the distribution from the tokens. But basically, there's a lot put in the community, actually. But again, I don't like too much the idea that it will be more tokens over time. That's one of the things that I like of coins that have a max supply that will impulse to higher prices over time. So because we can be Mina delegators and stake Mina tokens, it's cool here that in the towerstake.com delegator rewards calculator, you can check how much rewards you could have, for example. And right now, if I put 354 Mina tokens, that is around $1,000. We can check how much rewards we can have. For example, if the validator fee is 5%, which is the average. Let's put here USD currency. We click here. So this calculates approximately how will be our rewards. Basically, after 50 epochs, 24 months, we will have 113 Mina tokens more. And at the current price of $2.83, that will be $320 in 2 years. To put it in another way, that will be almost $13 per month. That is approximately 20% per year, which is a lot for staking. And this is if the Mina protocol, right now the token is only at this value. If this increases a lot, because it's very new and has a lot of potential, you could be doing a good amount of money stake in Mina. So you can check this calculator, delegator calculator. I will put the link in the description. I think it's a very cool tool to see this and see if once that you get your Mina tokens, you want to delegate them. I think that's the most intelligent thing to do. And actually this token push the users to delegate the stuff. You will receive more right now at the beginning and less in a few years. So this is very cool. In terms of the community, Mina has been exploding a lot. I saw how much this has been updated. Right now we have 100 followers there. So that is a lot. They are always putting some new information, and the Telegram is very active. I am already there. And now let's move to the team right now. So this is in the about page of the minaprotocol.com. You can see here how we have the board of directors and contributors. They have a very big list of contributors, and there is a lot of people, Genesis members also. So the backers is important. They are backed by many important companies, and they also have Coinbase Ventures as one of the backers. So we can expect that Coinbase could list this token in the near future. So that is very cool, and many of these are very important and known companies. So the list of contributors, I didn't review it. I am not too much interested in this, but I am more interested in the directors. We have here Ivan Shapiro. He is the CEO. So he's one of the co-founders. I like that all the director teams live in San Francisco because it's one of the great cities on innovation and technology. So I like that. Going into his experience, well, he studied in the university and has a bachelor in computer science and a master's degree after. He has only one experience as an intern on Mozilla, a software engineer. This was only 2 months in 2013. And from there until he have put in his experience, that is the CEO of One Labs, which are the creators of Mina, passed 4 years. So from 2013 until 2017, we don't have anything on his LinkedIn as the experience. Remember that I get to his LinkedIn just clicking here and going to the LinkedIn here. So it's not something that I really needed to go deep to find out. So I am missing 4 years of his experience here, so I don't like too much what I see here. That will be my first comment on this. Then we already saw that One Labs is the creators. So instead of checking here, maybe the found director and joint legal counselor, the VP, or former executive directors, some charges that I don't really interested. I am more interested in the technological part. So I go here to One Labs, and there I enter into all the results of persons that are working right now on 01 Labs. So I found Ivan Shapiro there, of course. He's also co-founder of 01 Labs. Then we have Nathan Holland. He's a protocol engineer. So all these people is working to 01 Labs. So of course they are working to Mina project protocol. So basically it's the same. So not checking first Nathan Holland. He's also in San Francisco. Okay, he's the protocol engineer on 01 Labs. Before that, until present, also from 2017, founder and CTO of Bitversity, so another company on that. Then compiler engineer, safe employee from 2016 to 2017. And before that, from 2017, a software developer. So it's not too much experience, but it's enough to trust in him as the protocol engineer. Well, we have Brandon Case after. He's one of important ones here. Also protocol engineer in 01 Labs, iOS core experience in Pinterest, software engineering Highlight Company, software engineering intern in Mozilla. Here's probably where he found his friend of the co-founder, because both work as intern in the same term. He also was an intern in Facebook, and they study in the same company, so that is why they are related. Probably they are friends here. So he has a lot of experience, random case. Checking Isaac Meckler, he's the CTO, so that is a very important charge. So CTO from 2017, he had a PhD student before that, software developer for 1 year on Shane Street Capital, and he previously was an intern there. Also a software engineer intern at QuickSale, and he studied in Chicago. Checking here, also a programmer technical assistant on the University of Chicago. So not too much information or not too much experience, but I think what we have here in terms of a team is that we don't have one great personality, but we have a bunch of guys that have a lot of experience. In the team here are 27 capable persons working on 01 Labs. So I think I have confidence on the team because of the globally review of the team, not of one of them. If I need to decide individually, I think they are great, but not too much experience in each of them. But as a complete team, I think I am very bullish on them. Going to the GitHub repository, this is something that I really like to show always. This is the main repository. Besides that, we have libraries, a repository, or proofs, or another things that are related to the project. But the important here is in this Mina repository. So if I check that, the Mina repository, the first thing that I don't like, if I am in the develop branch, basically you need to understand that I am a developer, like you know, so the develop branch on a GitHub repository is where all the different developers, they work on their own computer, and once they have something finished, they merge it into this branch, the develop branch. Usually it's called it like that because the development team is the only ones that are working on that. So imagine it like a tree. So each developer works in a branch, and when they already have something solid to push, they move it into this develop branch. So in the develop branch, the last update was 11 days ago. So that is something that I don't like too much. I am developer, like I say, and we have updates all days into our project on this branch. So I don't like too much that 11 days, I think is a lot. And they have a lot of branches, that is okay. The tags are okay also. Another thing that I don't like too much is that they have 1,000 and almost 300 open issues. So basically when you work, you will have things that are maybe not so important to fix. So you can start creating these issues here on the repository, and when you have time or you include it into the daily work, you can start fixing these issues. There are 2,000 that are closed, but still they have 1.3k open issues, and that is a lot. That is a lot of issues to one repository. So that is something that I don't like too much. Pull request opens, it's okay, 170, not much to say here. Basically, this pull request means that when you have something to fix that you want to merge into the other branch, you open a pull request to do that process. So the two things that I don't like is that there are 11 days that we don't have any update on the development branch. There are many issues here. Maybe there's a reason why there are not updates here, but they launched it already, the main launch, mainnet launch, so I am expecting that the team continue working a lot. The last update here was for Nolan Holland. We review his repository here, his LinkedIn, remember? Nathan Nolan, he was a protocol engineer here. But besides that, I think the repositories are okay. They work a lot already. They have been working 3 years, which is a lot to have a very cool project running. So I think that's very, very nice. Going in here, well, I already mentioned this, the 3 main pillars of any blockchain: decentralization, scalability, and secure. I think we are most that good in decentralization. We are in a medium term of scalability. I am hoping that they resolve the situation. And in terms of security, I think that I will be waiting also some updates from here, but I'm really bullish on the technology. One thing that I will put now at the end of the video is an 2-minute interview of Charles Hoskinson that talks about Mina protocol. So you can see that here at the end of the video if you are interested of the Charles Hoskinson opinion, because they know this ZK SNARK protocol use. They already proved it in Cardano at some state, but they didn't use it. So it's good to know what Hoskinson thinks about this. But in general terms, I mean, I am bullish on Mina. I really like the project. I am not investing right now. I will give it some more time. I prefer to enter when some other things are more clear to me than just enter because the price is low. And also I need to wait what happens with the rest of the bull run. We need to recover and see if the bull run will continue or not. In order to know that, please check my previous video that I did, which is a full review of how the project is and in comparison with 2013 bull run and why I think that is important. So you can check that video now here. Well, that is all for Mina project, guys. I review a lot of things here. If you have any question or any comment about the protocol, put your comments below. And if you want me to ask anything about that, of course, put your comments on the video. That's it for this video, guys. I will see you in the next video. And I leave you now with an interview to... so it's only 2 minutes of the impression of Charles Hoskinson about the Mina protocol. That is all for the video, guys. Bye.
Thoughts on the Mina protocol, Ouroboros plus Snarks? You know, they reached out to us and said they were going to be the first to implement Ouroboros Praus. That was back in 2018. We're still not in market with it. We were skeptical when we had a call with them. I remember Vasilis Zikas was there, Agalos was there. I think Duncan may have been in that call as well. Everything that they've written is reasonable, although recursive snarks are still a deeply theoretical artifact. And there are great papers like Halo Infinite and others, but they also tell you very clearly that there's still a lot of unsettled theory in unsettled application. So I always get skeptical when the science is not completely settled about people who proclaim that they can create the ultimate blockchain for it. That said, they're doing the standard Silicon Valley thing. They've raised a lot of money. Naval Ravikant, I think, is one of their investors. And they've gotten a lot of buzz. And yeah, we can't argue with the value proposition. They're basically saying you can have full node security for 22 kilobytes forever, no matter how big the chain gets, how many transactions occur in the chain. That's a pretty remarkable value proposition. So we think a lot about this topic, and we're setting up a Snark lab at University of Edinburgh. And this is going to be one of the line items in that $15 to $30 million research agenda, probably in the 1 to 3 million, depending upon the graduate students, postdocs, and professors associated with it, and also the engineering side that's associated with it. And recursive snarks is one of the things that's in the research agenda. And given that Stanford is now writing about it, we're right at the right time. Dan Boneh kind of stands out and just waits a little bit. It comes in like a ninja, and right when it's getting good. You saw that with homomorphic encryption and a lot of other things. And so the fact that he's entered the space tells you that the next 24 months to 36 months, we're going to see a systematic series of breakthroughs on both engineering and also on theory. So I don't think anything they're doing is unreasonable. And I understand the team is doing a borrow instead of build strategy, which is why they like Ouroboros, the same for Polkadot. And there's nothing wrong with that. But having dealt with this technology ourselves, I will give a little bit of caution that be careful with timelines and proclamations. We're one of the few companies in the world that actually has implemented a snark. We created something called Sonics, and we implemented Rust. That exercise took us 18 months with a team of Rust engineers who were very good, doing nothing but that. So it is really hard to do this code well and implement it at a standard where it actually works.